And welcome back, folks, to another episode of Fancy Tickles. I'm your host, Bryce Peeler, with my two co-hosts.
What was that?
I don't know what just happened.
Brackus Beeler.
Brackus. I'm still working through the cold thing, whatever you want to call it. Anyway, co-host James Maydall, my other co-host Sean Blankenship. I think I'm just going to skip the nicknames this week. Felt more natural to skip it.
Yeah.
We'll fucking do it next time.
Sure.
Baby Mama 1, Baby Mama 2.
Fucking right.
What the fuck am I then?
Thing one,
You're
thing
two.
two.
You're
Oh,
two.
okay.
You rubbed the bellies, you're two.
Thing one, thing two.
Yeah.
All right, Wonka.
Fucking A. I think that's a different movie, though, but yeah.
Dr. Seuss is who you're thinking.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Dr. Seuss.
Oh, fuck, dude.
What
So,
about
my
Dr.
haunted
Seuss?
Dr. Seuss book. So, I've had the situations we talked about, right?
Yeah.
And after the fact, we were all talking about things that, like imbued with whatever the spirit is of somebody that contained it, like necklaces, Dybbuk boxes, whatever. So, I came to the conclusion that the 1950 copy of Horton Hatches an Egg that my mom got from my grandma might be the thing in my house that's haunted.
Yes.
And, right. So, I went back. I did what we said. I was like, all right, let's take the book. Let's start a little ritual in my little ritual room and see what the fuck happens. Sure shit. Wavy bell thing happened. I fucking sent you guys videos of that.
We might have to upload that to Facebook.
Yeah.
To the
Yeah, that was
page.
creepy, dude.
Yeah,
And it
because the
wouldn't
top
stop.
one didn't move at
It
all. Like
creeped
you were
me
like,
out a
because I
little
thought
bit,
that's what
dude.
you were pointing at was like, look at the top one, and then you're like, it's not fucking moving, y'all. And the bottom one is just the one that's switching. Nothing's moving on the top.
Yeah, it fucking
is
spooked.
bananas.
And I laid there for probably 2 minutes just watching it, and it didn't get more, didn't get less, but it's exactly the same. You know what I mean? And it's an old set of spirit bells. It's not like it's all lubed up, and that's never the point of those things in the first place. It's not a wind-based thing. It's a faith-based thing. So it's inside a home. It's not meant to be affected by wind or to...
Now it's not on a like an interior wall. That the next apartment over is like their bedroom wall where their headboard is up against
so, like,
the wall. It's
No,
like,
no,
if
and
you
it wouldn't
walk
matter
in-
anyway because a compression, it's going this way.
Oh, that's true.
So unless they're fucking
Okay.
sideways and making the
Yeah.
whole wall shake,
Alright.
which I love Jeff to death, but as a single 61-year-old guy, I don't think he's in there laying pipe like a fucking porn star either.
Unless,
I mean,
That's Samantha.
he
Unless
did
it's
fuck this
Samantha.
Samantha
He
coming
did
through.
lay it down like a pro one night, and I was like, he's fucking playing with fire, but good on him, dude.
well, if you're gonna go out,
Yeah, well, he's like an old rock star, though, dude. Like, he roadied for the Grateful Dead. He roadied for Def Leppard. He roadied for... I can't even remember all the bands he talked about. And then he also had his bands in the Southern California circuit that were, like, super popular in the 80s. And so he's an interesting fucking guy. Plus, every time he shaves, I'm like, I don't look too far off from 61-year-old guy. You know, like, if it really came down to it, Samantha could probably look at us both naked and be like, it's a toss-up. You know, like...
Blindfold me and let's see which one feels the worst.
Right, and, don't go by feel. I'm soft, dude. Don't go by feel.
Dude, so I just found, and I didn't know it existed. So we were, my ringtone for my phone has either been the Crypt Keeper laugh or the line from the new It, Hiya Georgie, is that your boat you want to back or something like that? And so every time in our group chat, it'll be the Crypt Keeper laugh. And so when Bryce or you or somebody else will just go bing, 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 I hear and it doesn't ever stop going. So I was like, okay, I got to find a different one. So I was like, I'll get the Ric Flair woo. I'll make it short, sweet, and we'll just call it good. So in the process of trying to find a YouTube video to swap over to the audio and everything like that, I find this Road Warriors, it's like a 3-minute clip, and it's like a quick 2-minute match, and then they go into like a 1-minute promo where they're shooting on Ric Flair or whatever. And one of the guys starts talking, he goes, you want to talk about us being soft? Does this look soft? Does this look soft? And then he goes, there's only one part of us that gets soft, and it's not soft all the time. You're going to find out, Ric Flair, when we get into that match. It's going to be hard, and it's going to be hard all night for you. And just going off, and I was like, this got fucking weird. Like, what the fuck is this?
This is a rape video.
Yeah.
It's a rape.
This is-
They're gonna rape Ric Flair. That's what's gonna happen.
And you always hear the stories of behind the scenes shit. And you're like, if there's anybody that's going to hold Ric Flair down backstage and just fucking go at him, it would have been him.
Yeah, Animal.
Yeah, he would have just fucking necked him and been like, I'm fucking tag team champion, you fucking peasant.
Well, then he made the comment about how you talk about Space Mountain. Space Mountain's going to be closed for repairs. It's just like, oh shit, he's talking about breaking pieces.
Some of the fucking lines, dude.
Oh, it's so good.
With.
Well, compared to like now vignettes, they're so vanilla now. Like all of the promos that get punched now seem so like they want to say something else, but because of the PG era that has come about, they use words like heck and darn, and you're like, that don't fucking drive home for me,
They had
homie.
a good one. They had
you
a
know,
good
like
one the other night.
AEW will kind of pinch in hard, but like
They had a good one the other night that the New Day dropped, and it was something about. Oh, so it was when that storyline where Lana married Bobby Lashley.
right.
Okay, and then there was that whole thing back and forth between Rusev and them. So Bobby Lashley's part of this faction called the Hurt Business now. And the New Day comes out, and the Hurt Business, there's two guys in there that are challenging the New Day, which is just the two guys now, Xavier and Kofi, for the tag belts. And they said something about 8 seconds. And Kofi Kingston pops up and he goes, it's kind of funny you mentioned 8 seconds there, Bob, because from what we hear from Lana, that's all the longer you could last. And I was like, oh, that's a little shot below the belt. A little dark there. I wonder how many kids are going to catch that innuendo.
Speaking of which, have you seen what Rusev looks like again?
Dude,
he's fucking tank again.
Yeah.
He looks like the Rusev that you would expect, dude. It was weird. He got like soft for a while. Not soft. He just looked like a regular big guy for a while. And then I seen him versus... Oh, shit. I'm having a
Was
brain...
it Trent from Best Friends?
I think so. Yep, it was. And he's all fucking pumped, dude, and his like neck muscles are touching his ear muscles, dude. I was like, holy shit.
Looking like a young or like
apparently AEW doesn't have the same drug testing program as the
Doesn't appear
WWE.
so, no.
It's
Well, I
like,
mean, Billy
how does
Gunn's
a
there,
40-year-old
you've got-
guy all of a sudden get fucking yoked?
Billy Gunn, fucking who else is in there that you know for a fact smokes weed?
Well, there's weed. I'm talking fucking
Well, no, I know that,
juicing,
but
dude. These
they
guys
even
is
frown on weed
juicing
and
hard.
shit.
They do? How does R-Truth have a job?
Grandfathered in, I guess. I don't know.
I got it's in my claws right here.
right
I can smoke weed, and then it's just signed by him. Nobody else. Yeah.
So I've been trying to come up. We were talking about like storylines and stuff. I don't know which WrestleMania it was, but it was fucking one of my favorites. So I don't remember the exact characters, but I'm pretty sure Stone Cold Steve Austin was in on it. Somebody got thrown in a trunk of a car during WrestleMania, and it like showed him like a live shot on the highway.
So
Who was that?
That was, I want to say, WrestleMania 9. It was a
was
Hollywood backstage brawl.
Yeah.
And it was Rowdy Piper and Goldust.
Yes,
What they
that's
did
who it
was what they didn't do a trunk thing. So they did, and they stole the footage from the OJ chase, was what it was.
Yeah.
So,
That's so fucking
so
awesome.
Goldust hops in the car, I think it is, and Piper jumps in the Bronco. And they just show this overhead footage from the OJ chase without any of the graphics on it. And it's just this white Bronco weaving in and out. And then they show at the back, like they show both of them pull in like through the underground like drive-in thing. And so they both come in and then they fight their way out to the ring. And then I think Piper gets the win. But it was, I want to say it was WrestleMania 9 or something like that.
That's so good.
Yeah.
That reminds me it was not more than a week ago on Instagram. It was this beautiful white Bronco, totally restored, and the license plate said not OJ.
Have you seen the advertisement for the new Broncos? And there's another one like that, and it's the brand new Bronco, like
which is bad to the fucking bone, by the way, dude.
It's like the old Bronco with just
Like a
a
60
few
something.
more little lines,
Sleeker
and it was
lines.
like when it shows a picture of OJ, and he's just like,
Oh, nuh-uh.
yeah.
They had to pay OJ to do that, too.
Oh, I'm
I mean,
sure.
think about that. Like, there's people in prison that get paid still because he's the juice.
Yeah.
He's the fucking juice,
Yeah.
man.
I saw another one that was like OJ and Anna Nicole or whatever her name is. I think that was her name. Mm-hmm. Anna Nicole. No, it's not Anna Nicole.
No, it's not Anna Nicole Smith. It was Ann Brown. Something Brown, right?
Something like that. Yeah. And so, but it was like, OJ was like, me, and then she was like my 2020. I was like, that seems pretty fitting.
Oh, by the way, update for local fans. The A&B still has Dumpster Fire 2020 t-shirts. They're fucking awesome. Buy them all up. Because you're going to wish you had them in like 10 years. Or tomorrow. Or whenever we find out who the president is, you're going to wish you had that.
Oh, whenever.
Which, by the fucking way, is hilarious. So I watched religiously. I want to see who became president.
I watched it until midnight.
Dude, I would love to say that midnight is where I cut the fucking line. But I watched, and it's building up all night. States are going. And it got all the way to 225 or 224 for Biden, 213 or 14 for Trump.
Which he's been peaked at the whole time.
Right. Yeah. Well, because they haven't. Okay. So, so next day happens. Some more blue states come about, and Biden's all the way to 264. So this race is definitively over already. There are not enough states to retract or change the trend, meaning the projections are 100% right? Arizona has 6 votes, I believe, or 8. Mm-hmm. Biden needs 6 to win. He's won because it's projected for Arizona to go that way, which is really weird because Arizona is almost always a fucking red state. Yeah. And there isn't enough left for Trump to become president. There's not enough states left. I did the math. He can only get to 265 without one of the other states that have already stated who got the Electoral College votes. They won't be able. He can't win. It would be impossible. It would take the federal cases that he wants to bring up, saying, "Hey, these are weird counts." Like, I don't remember if it's Michigan, Illinois. One of those states up there by the lakes had 103% of the total registered voter population. Does anybody understand what that means?
Way more people that were alive voted.
No, that means 3% more than legal registered voters had their votes counted. That's the only way, because no matter how many votes they are, they equal 100%, and they already know how many registered voters there are because you can only up till a certain point register to vote, simply so that whatever the fuck is going on in Arizona right now doesn't happen. Yep. So there's no... So other than that one little weird thing, and honestly, it's probably just a math error, you know what I mean? It's the news, it's politicians, it's people adding things up, it's going to be wrong or whatever. But that's the only glaring weird thing as they've been tallying everything up. So we already know who the president is. We know that it's Biden, right? And whatever that means for the country, I don't care one way or the other, to be honest. Other than a little bit of battle would be fun, you know? A little bit of fireworks would be kind of cool.
That's one way to put it.
Well, you only live once, you know what I mean?
True.
Like, there's a generation, there is a man out there that's alive right now that was in World War II, Korea, almost old enough to be in Vietnam, and to be enlisted, and then all the other fucking things, the civil rights movement, putting a man on the moon, all those fucking things are something that a single generation could have experienced. And so our generation, I'm going to just say it as nicely, we're soft as fucking pudding when it comes to what we've had to deal with.
Oh, for sure.
Because even and this is no disrespect to anybody in the military, but even our theater wars have been fought substantially one-sided. We have a lot of technology, we have a lot of vehicles, we have a huge, massive force. It's not the same as getting in the trenches at Vietnam. It's not the same as Korea for sure. It's most definitely not the same as World War I or World War II. So we need something to pump us up. You know what I mean? We've watched the country fall to COVID. We've watched the country fall to a fucking cold, right?
Country's been falling for a little while.
It just shows, I'm thinking, it's just opinion, on how soft we've got, right? We just gotten so fucking used to being number 1, we didn't notice we're number 7 now. That kind of thing. So, yeah, dude. If there's a little unrest, a little bit of fist fighting, even if people, if you only went out with sticks and rocks and bottles and had to go at it, you know what I mean? Never mind guns, that gets a little fucking gross. But, You know, like if everybody was just
a little.
fist fighting, just get it out of your fucking system. You know, if the two guys that are fucking Twitter fighting and Facebook fighting could literally meet each other, even though their mom's basements are like thousands of miles apart in America, if they could fucking meet up with each other and get a fist fight out of the way, guaranteed they probably might even go get a beer afterwards. That's the way I look at it, dude. Every time I've had a disagreement with somebody in my life before the PC culture happened, like, I would never make, like, on a side note, but to explain my point, I'd have never made it through high school if I had to go to high school now. I would have already been expelled 1 week into freshman year. There's no tolerance policy has led to people being sneaky and deceptive in how they fuck with other people. And it is no loss on me that the suicide and murder and stabbings and theft and all these crazy fucking crimes have come up through teenage years and are way more prevalent than they used to be because you can't just get in a fucking fist fight.
Yep. Yeah.
Fist fights are fucking good for you. Fist fights are good for your body. They're good for your mind. You have to know where you're at in the world when it comes to defending yourself. And then you fucking, hey, this is the kind of person I want to be because I don't want to do that again. Or, hey, I don't mind being that kind of person, so I'll go get a job that facilitates that. You know what I mean? Perfect example. I worked on the well service for a couple years. There was a handful of fist fights that happened in a job that, paid a lot of fucking money, but it's because everybody was roughnecks.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. That's, when it comes to that, we need to unsoften.
Oh, for sure. I completely stand by that too.
Yep.
And on the same note, guys, we were talking about the COVID things. Now they're on the rise again. They're on the spike again. You said what? Coeur d'Alene, Idaho is a hot spot.
I heard. I haven't seen the news feed or anything, but from what I saw or heard, that they're definitely. I mean, just the rise and the number of cases that they've had up there.
And I think
huge in the area.
Nez Perce County is the hot spot for all of Idaho. If not, I mean, we still have significant cases every day. I think they had 32 today, 32 more in Nez Perce County today.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Cases that were posted. So
it's rocking up pretty quick.
well, and it's going to, like, it's a disease, and until we get herd immunity, it's not going to go away on its own. Mm-hmm. So, like, that is one thing I definitely have an opinion on. Is like, you got to be dirty to be not dirty.
Well, like you and I discussed before, like, as a kid growing up, I didn't wash my hands every time I came inside.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah, no. You barely needed to wash your vegetables until a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or fruit or anything like that.
I forgot all about it. After we had the conversation, I was like, whatever.
I guess grapes are like the most common one, or like we said, berries are like the most common one people will rinse off. But
I've never thought of it in my life. In my mind, it's like if you wash a berry or a fucking something, it's all the sugar and the good juice is going to get washed away.
It's inside.
Yeah, it's supposedly, but have you ever seen all the smushy at the bottom of the bag?
Yeah,
obviously it didn't come from nowhere.
Brown grapes, that's where they get gross. It's when they get gross in the brown.
Gross grapes?
Dude, grapes are grapes, dude.
Just the purple ones.
I eat bananas until they literally fall apart while I'm eating them. I picked up a banana out of the banana tray the other day, and I was like, pudding, right on.
You gotta put them in the refrigerator until they're like really cold, and then eat them once they're like starting to turn black on the outside, and then eat them after they're in the refrigerator. They get a little bit more rigidity.
Rigidity.
And then then it does taste like banana pudding.
Yeah, it's amazing, dude.
Yeah.
Well, like, I think, if I'd have just kind of cut the top off of the banana, I could have fucking...
Like, Go-Gurted
I could have Go-Gurted it, dude. It still tasted just like a banana. I was like, I don't even have to fucking chew this thing.
I saw a meme today. It was like, you telling me this banana nutted in my bread?
Put it in the bread.
Back to the COVID thing. Yeah, was it Pullman, they're going to all online learning.
Well, they had
Clarkston.
Just a few months ago, they had the biggest spike in like the nation as soon as all the college students came back from other places, which again, don't be fearful of these things. We have to get to herd immunity. Otherwise, tuberculosis would still be huge, which it is. The flu would still be huge, which it is. Like, I guess maybe I'm just trying to nicely say we need to get past giving a fuck about it.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, but at the same time, I think that's the issue with that is, like you said, herd immunity is great, and I'm all for that. Like, I get that if you catch it, your body builds the immunity to it or whatever, and you can get through it. But then, like you said, there are those, and obviously we don't want those that are old enough to pass. Like your dad, for example, has moved in with your brother. He doesn't go do anything,
Right.
unless somebody goes and picks him up or brings him to their house, which is not just
Well, and
an age thing, but
Right.
it's that health thing. Like you guys didn't want him going anywhere when all this shit was going on because of his age, because of his health,
Right.
which makes sense. So with that, you can't. Again, look, we were talking about the work ethic because I listened to that one the other day too from us. Work ethic goes just hand in hand with this, I think, too, because the older generations that have that work ethic that are like, I don't know what you guys are bitching about. You didn't have to do this back in my day. They're the ones that are the hard asses that are still wanting to go out and deal with this stuff. But they're also the ones that are going to go and die from this stuff.
Yeah.
And you know
Which
what?
I get that
The
it's a
right
circle
to
of
do
life.
So yeah, I mean,
get
and
it's
when
a
I
circle
speak
of
of this,
life.
obviously, I'm not speaking specifically of my dad.
Well, no,
I'm not-
I know that,
But
but
in
what I'm saying-
generalities, because I have to compare everybody else's emotions to mine. If I lose my dad, other people have already lost their dad. If I lose my mom, other people have already lost their mom. It is what it is as a whole.
Oh, no, I get that.
So for our community to be stronger and younger and safer, we kind of do have to fucking take the outside of the circle out. And it's unfortunate, but that involves the weak, the sickly, the elderly. It is what it is. I mean, like, I hate to say it that way, but I've had enough loss in my life that I look at it as the big picture. Like, well, fuck,
Yeah.
dude. You know what I mean? My dad's been through 2 wars, the end of a depression. He's, 4 sons, 8,000 grandchildren. He's done every sport you could think of. He's not, he wouldn't
He's lived
be,
a good life.
Yeah, he wouldn't be missing anything else out besides his cup of coffee every day. You know what I mean? Like, in fact, it would probably be better for it to be now than it would be. He would hate somebody pushing around in a wheelchair. He'd hate somebody doing that kind of
That's
shit.
why I said I was kind
know?
of thankful Dad missed all this shit.
Right, he doesn't have...
Well, and on top of that, even if he had been alive...
You wouldn't have been able to see him.
No.
I'm
He
sorry, I
would've
didn't
had-
mean to,
no.
interject.
No,
but
that's exactly where I was going. They would have
because
had
that's been a
no
big
visitors.
thing
Yeah.
lately. And they've
Is
now...
the
Yeah,
depression
people like
and the
waving at people through windows.
Yeah, because they've shut
fucking-
down nursing homes again. They've shut down the intensive care units. You can't go visit your loved ones. If, Sarah and Haley were to get in a car wreck or something right now and they were in the intensive... I couldn't go in and see them right now.
Well, so the way they run that is, I've known a lot of people that have had to go visit people in the hospital or who have had babies this time around. And so to do that, once there's somebody in, you're there for the 24-hour period.
Yeah.
If somebody else wants to come in and see them, then they're the only ones that are admitted in that 24-hour period. And once they walk in, they're in. If they walk out at any point in that 24 hours, they can't go back in. Because they're just...
That's
it
still
sucks.
Because, it's like, okay, I can't go to work.
Right.
Like, I gotta go to work, but I can't come back and see my family member again.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You go when you can, and it makes sense. It sucks, but
Yeah.
for a safety purpose,
It all
they run it
sucks.
the way that they do it.
Yeah. No.
Well, and
And
that's...
I've been thinking lately a lot, like, okay, so Haley's got, like, reactive airways disease. Not the only kid that has asthma. Reactive airways is to make it sound more...
Cool.
Scientific.
You just
Yeah.
confused the fuck out of me. I was like, reactive airways? Aren't
Reactive
they
airways.
supposed to be
It's
reactive?
asthma. It's
Yeah.
asthma. So when she even gets...
Ocularly impaired is the blind.
Yeah.
Yep,
Blind, mouth, blind.
So-
Got it. I'm following.
So if she even gets like a cold that's like anywhere in like lungy, she's like on a fucking we got to take her in and she has to get breathing treatments.
Yeah, yeah.
So I know that not that many small kids or her age have gotten this. It's been a small percent, as far as I know. I haven't
Right.
heard of that many. But I think of her more than I do of anyone else. Or Sarah. Sarah has really bad asthma as well. Or my aunt, Patty. She's got really bad lung problems, things like that. So, at my job and working with the public, we haven't worn masks the entire time. Now, yesterday, I wore a mask for the first time. All day long. And I don't know. And something about it, I was like, okay, this is the right thing to do.
yeah.
It's the right thing to do. And I work with a lot of elderly people.
Just choosing to do it, or
Yeah, just
they didn't
doing
say
it.
nothing?
No, they
gotcha.
didn't say anything. I actually was not questioned, but they were like, "Oh, you're wearing a mask now," and I was like, "Yeah," and they were like, "Awesome, good for you."
Yeah, some people,
Cool,
especially being direct to the public.
But it's funny because then it's either one or the other. You get this weird thing when you're working customer service. You get this, oh, you're wearing a mask. or
Right.
you get the, hey, thanks for wearing your mask.
Right.
So it's like you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. There's no right fucking answer for anything, and it's super frustrating day to day. And it's like,
well,
okay,
and that's
like,
the thing. If that's we back to the soft, we're fucking soft.
Yeah.
We have guys, and again, I'm not picking on them, but I'll just say you take this fucking yoked ex-military badass motherfucker.
Yeah.
Right? And his ideals are solid in what he believes in. He fucking hunts. He's got the giant truck. He's got the I cut trees down for a living job, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not trying to pick on anybody specific. That's just like the image I see in my head.
Yeah.
Instead of those guys going, fuck you, I'm not wearing a mask based on my ideals because I don't believe in this. We have a group of what's supposed to be very tough people saying, oh, I have a medical condition, so I don't have to wear it. We're using backdoor, Sue Happy points of argument, which is what I want us to get past from. Which is, I've made Facebook posts about this in the past where I'm like, if you're super fucking tough and stand on your ideals, then stand on them. Don't use some lawyer fucking ball type thing where you're like, you know I'm going to sue you, right? Like, and then saying it tough.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I said I had an interaction with a guy in the mask thing, and I was like, I wouldn't fuck with me, dude. If a mask could take you out, I most fucking definitely could. Like, if a mask is what's going to take you down in this store from a little bit of shortness of breath that happen to wear it, you don't want to tangle with me. I'm a fucking rattlesnake compared to that mask. So, like, be tough how you're actually tough. You know what I mean? Don't just be tough on Facebook. Don't just be tough on Instagram, TikTok, whatever stupid fucking shit's going on right now. Be tough.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I've had a million people fucking come at me in my life, and I'm like, yeah, we can do this. I have absolutely no qualms with fighting another human being. Never have. You know, or like saying, you know, like if I didn't want to, I even said it at fucking Walmart. The guy, not Walmart. Oh, I can't even remember where the fuck I was. But the guy's like, you need to have a mask. And I was like, no, I don't. And, it wasn't, I wear masks when I go to the store. I just didn't have one, and it was fucking hassle to go try and find one or whatever. And you look in the store, and there's 50 other people not wearing their masks. I'm like, I'm at least telling you why I'm not wearing a mask.
Yeah.
I don't care as much. Not that I don't care about people. I just don't care about you fucking with me at the door. I'm coming here to spend money. Everybody touches everything. Let's just get to where we need to be. Because all scientific data points towards herd immunity being the fastest way for all of us to get better. There is no data that says being super, super clean is just going to have the fucking virus fairy take it away from us. That's not going to happen. Doesn't work that way.
The super, super clean is what fucks your immune system
Yeah,
up.
it creates a clean substrate for a specific bacteria or virus to grow.
And then that's when we get the mutated version of whatever
Right, it gets
this
time.
Is
It gets
really
time.
fucks
Well, that's
with
what happened in the Spanish flu or whatever that one was in 1918 and 1919.
Yeah. And it come back in the winter.
And guess what they did back then? They wore masks to not spit and breathe on each other. Now, they didn't have nearly as much knowledge of virology at the time. They didn't even really know why. It was kind of like harken back to biblical times. They're like, well, lepers touch other lepers and then they get leprosy.
Yeah.
It was that kind of logic, but it gave it a chance to mutate back then.
Exactly.
You know? Like,
I don't know. I think, on my opinion, that's what I think is going to happen. We're going to have this fucked election, and then we're going to get a president that either cares or doesn't care. Now, whichever way it goes, I don't know if it's going to matter. I know that one side wants complete, like, statewide mask mandates. He wants everything shut down like it was during that first, when was that, back in, like,
March or something.
March,
Like that. March, April.
when they
March,
just
April.
fucking shut everything down. I know he wants to do that. And then we have the other side that is like, hey, I've had this myself. This is bullshit.
right.
We need to get
We're allowed
over
to cuss
it.
on this one.
Yeah. You know, but my thoughts on it are it is going to happen like that, and it's already starting.
Well, and what I'm hoping
It's
on
winter
that
ti-
same
it's winter
exact
time.
note,
And it's getting worse.
right? Well, that happens every year, though. The
And-
flu
well,
gets
yeah,
worse
yeah,
this
yeah.
time of year. Everything gets worse this time
Especially
of
with,
year
like all the kids back in school, all the
heating units are being used. People are inside
Yes.
way more than there are
Yeah.
outside. Inside activities become popular. That's just what's going to happen.
yeah. Dudes do podcasts.
Dudes do podcasts.
Fuck.
Yeah, dude, I've been coughing on you motherfuckers for like ever, and I'm sure I've had it like 6 times now.
Me too. It's okay.
Yeah, we're good. I drank off both of your guys' drinks when you weren't looking. Just
We were kissing before the camera came on.
Because I fucking care about you guys.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
So, what the fuck else is going on, boys? I had some fun. I had some fun this week. So, Bryce never goes to the doctor. Ever. For no reason ever. And
Wait, I thought this was a joke.
Oh, no, this is...
It wasn't a joke?
Not a bit. Sean, no, this is a fucking real story. Oh, everybody's in for a treat for this one now that you know it's... No, that was 100% real what happened.
Oh, I thought it was just something to ease my mind from shitting my pants. Okay.
No, that's why I was telling you, fuck you, dude. I don't give a shit about shit in your pants, dude. I had a day. So, I decided it's time for Bryce to get his 30s physical. Right? I decided it's time, you know, maybe be a big boy, check some shit out, make sure you ain't got cholesterol, make sure you ain't got the clap, make sure you ain't got all these things going on. So
I like how it's like it doesn't go cholesterol, heart disease, anything like that. It's like cholesterol, the clap.
Yeah, that's how you bridge a gap in media, Jim.
Understandable, but normal people will like tear it, like cholesterol.
I'm a man.
Heart disease. You know,
well, so cholesterol,
Butt cancer,
if it's bad, leads to heart disease, right? So that was just implied, Jim. Anyway, my fucking story, not yours. So I decided to get everything all checked out, and because it's the local cheap clinic or whatever, I don't want to say the name, and then we get sued of all things by this clinic.
It was in a van.
It was in a van outside of what I thought was a reputable clinic. Which I should have known. Something's funny about Carl from fucking Workaholics wanting to be my doctor. So,
when you don't have rubber gloves and you got the dishwasher gloves.
Right, he just has yellow dishwasher gloves. He's like, I played a doctor on television.
Looking
I'm
like Dexter's mom.
Close enough.
From Dexter's lab.
Oh, God, yeah. So, I get there, I sign all my paperwork, and finally get into the doctor, and the doctor says, oh no, the lady in the reception said, well, no matter what you get done today, it's gonna cost $100. So I was like, fucking A, dude, I'm gonna jackpot this shit. Let them do whatever the fuck they can to see where I'm at. So, and the guy's like, all right, well, we're gonna do, you know, the heart labs, cholesterol labs, liver, kidneys, thyroid. And then they're like going to do the full STD scan, right? So they fucking take like a gallon of blood out of me and they check how much I weigh and all these different fucking things, right? And they send me home, right? And I'm like, fucking good on you, dude. Give yourself a pat on the back. You know, you're taking care of you, takes care of your future, right? So I'm at work and I get a fucking phone call. And it's doctor, right? And I'm like, fuck, that was quick for bad results. Right on. And anyway, I answer the phone. And he says, hi, it's Kelsey from Cheap Clinic. I need you to come back in. I was like, whew, that bad, huh? He's like, no, we don't have your test results back or anything. He said, we forgot one test. I said, wouldn't happen to be from the STD side of the test, would it? And he's like, sure is. And I was like, wouldn't happen to be involved with a Q-tip now, would it? And he said, sure would. So for anybody that maybe is in the vagueness of what this means, if you ever have chlamydia, gonorrhea, trichomoniasis, or like 10 other fucking diseases, they have to take a Q-tip, put it in your pee-pee hole, swabble swivel around, put that in a test tube.
Swabble swivel.
Right. So, and over the phone, I'm like, all right, you know, and I've heard horror stories of this test before, right? Maybe it's from guys with little dicks, but I never fucking thought about it, right? And so to mentally prepare myself, I was like, okay, man. I said, so I got to ask, how far does the Q-tip go in my dick? And he's like, it only has to go 3 or 4 inches, right? And I ghost, dude. Like, I go pale. I can feel sweat, and it's wintertime in a warehouse. I'm like, dude. And I start, like, almost hyperventilating. I'm like, doc, seriously, if I'm nervous and you need to go 3 or 4 inches in my dick, that's going to be out of my back. Like, there is no 3 to 4 inches without, like...
You're asking me to swab my belly button here, guy.
You're asking me to swab my asshole from the front side of my dick. So, I'm like, oh, okay, are you serious, man? You know, I'm like, it's 2020. Isn't there like a, and I'm just stammering, dude. I'm like, and he's like, no, you just got to like mentally prepare yourself, man. I'm sorry. And I was like, all right, man, I'll see you on my lunch. So I get there and I'm like shaking. Like I could feel myself vibrating. I hadn't ate a fucking thing, wouldn't drink nothing. I'm just fucking, all I can think of is a fucking stick in my dick that far in. And I'm like, I went to the bathroom at work with my work tape measure. It's my tape measure, so fuck anybody else that hears this story. And I like stretched it out and I was like, dude, that's like the whole thing when it's soft. Like this is sad panda time for Bryce. And so I get to the fucking clinic.
So then you're thinking, can I make it better if I get myself hard before I do it?
No,
that's what I was thinking. I was like,
okay, so I looked that up on my phone. I thought, well,
right, WebMD.
Yeah, no, I just I typed like while doing STD swab, is it better to be hard? And everything said no because those things are going to squish on your urethra, so it's going to make that tube even smaller with the two pistons that make your cock on both sides. Trust me, I had to see all the fucking diagrams to get to the information I want. I said, okay, don't have a boner.
The pistons that make your cock on both
right. So I fucking get there. They check me in, and mind you, I got there the other day, and it took me like an hour to get into the fucking thing, and I knew it. I thought, this is like when you don't want to go to a funeral and every light is green. Like, you're just, it's just pushing you faster to where you don't want to fucking go.
Yeah.
And you're like, and like, I check in, like, oh, they're fucking waiting, and, you know, and they open the door immediately. Oh, Bryce, you're here, cool. I'm like, nah, fucking cool. So this lady, she's holding, and I can see this fucking cotton swab, folks. I'm talking 8 inches long with, like, the cotton on one end, right? She's got it in the sterile thing and the little tube and whatever. And so then I'm nervous at that. I'm like, is this chick gonna fondle my dick? Like, and there's just a million things.
So then you're like, there's no way I'm staying soft to get this checked.
Well, it's not even, oh, dude, I don't think, dude, it was, that poor little guy was so scared. He was like a fucking turtle sticking his head out of a beard, dude. He was fucking scared. And so she shuts the door and she's like, okay, have you ever done this before? And I was like, have I ever done this before? No, ma'am. I have never fucking
That's something I usually try on a Friday night.
And so she says, okay, I'm going to explain it to you. She's like, you're going to do this yourself. And I already start stammering. I'm like, there's no fucking way. I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be like crude or anything. I'm sorry, but how in the fuck am I supposed to do that? And she's like, just a second. And she's like, what do you think's happening? And I was like, Kelsey on the phone told me that I had to put that 3 or 4 inches into my dick. And she starts laughing. And then I hear a faint laugh outside the door. Who do you think's laughing outside the door but Kelsey Doctor? Right? And I'm like, all right. And I kind of started to get the hint something was going on. She's like, you only have to stick it far enough in to make the cotton go away. And so that's like a 1/4 inch, half inch at most. I'm like, fuck, I got that all day long. And she's like, and you're going to do it. And I'm like, you need to get out of the room. I need to get this done before he goes to lunch. So I fucking do the thing. Not very uncomfortable, like you would think, because it's not 3 or 4 inches in your dick, like a fucking shish kebab. It's just a little bit in there. And I put the thing in the thing, fucking close it off, and I immediately open the door. Don't even wash my hands. I'm like, I'm going to find this guy. Right? And so
Smack him upside
I
the face
open
with
the
my
fucking
cock
door, and I'm like, where's Dr. Kelsey? And the nurse is like, whoa. And I'm like, not mad, but I'm trying to portray, like, where's this dude at? I need to fucking talk to him right now. And I walk, and they have, in their stations, between 2 hallways, you're not allowed to walk because they got lab equipment, their stuff, shit's supposed to be sterile or whatever. Yeah. See him on the other side. I'm like, I need to talk to you, dude. And he's like, and he, like, turned the corner. And they're like, and I start to walk. I'm like, oh, you can't walk through here. You got to go around. So I go around, and he's on the other side. He's playing that game. And I'm like, so I go around, and he's on the other end, and he's smiling. I was like, just wait there. I'm not doing anything weird. And so I walk up. I was like, okay, dude, that was a fucking good one. I was like, and he starts fucking laughing, dude. And I'm like, I have to ask, of all people, to get unprofessional with. You pick the right one. Trust me. Like, I'm fucking going to probably tell this story in, like, a week on radio. But, like, and I was like, why would you tell me that I had to do that? And he's like, well, he's like, if you think you have to stick a dick 3 or 4 inches, or stick a dick into my dick, to stick a stick in your dick 3 to 4 inches, you you're gonna be happy when it's only like a half an inch. And I was like, dude, good on you, man. I was like, because I was fucking sweating, and I tell him like how my whole day had went. Like I haven't ate, I haven't done nothing. You have never seen somebody skipping out of an STD test and walking back into the lobby. There's people in the lobby. They had seen, I mean, anybody with a brain was like, oh, that guy's walking in with a chick that has the swab.
Yeah.
I'm probably here to get the swab too.
Yeah.
So I know what, and I come out of there happy-go-lucky. I'm laughing like I had already got the results type of thing, you know? And these people are like, what the fuck? And I'm like, see you later, secretary. You know, and I fucking hoof it out of there. But god damn it, that dude got me good. So fucking good.
The only thing I can compare to that, and I've never had to do it, but it was my little brother, and when he was born, his urethra wasn't open enough. And so they have to do a
like
thing.
Hank Hill?
Yeah.
He had narrow urethra.
So, but it was like, there's ways to fix that if you do it at a young enough age. So the way they do it is it's a hard plastic thing that they give you, and it's shaped like a toothpick, but it's yay long, and it starts at a very fine point. And like I said, they have to stick the tip in and get it in there just far enough, and then they wiggle it around. And that wiggle around is what opens everything up on the inside. So it was that thing, but they had to keep going further and further each time they did it to stretch it out. And I've never heard, even at 4 years old, I knew what pain was listening to my little brother scream from that shit.
Ah, fuck.
Now, just for clarification, this isn't Bri then.
No, this is my blood brother, Brian.
I think some life choices make sense now.
Yeah, I can see that now.
But, yeah, dude, and like hell shit, it's necessary, but, you know, like, I'll go in, if that door opened and there was 4 giant men right there and they're like, I'm gonna fuck you up, I'd get up, I'd take my glasses off, and I'd go to business. But you take a man and stand him in front of an STD test and blood test, and you're like, all right, man, here's your future, and you're just shaking. You're like, oh, fucking, you know, like,
I haven't had a physical since like middle school to do any sort of thing.
It's time, dog.
It is, yeah. But like they
keep
say,
that ticker going.
No news is good news.
That's not true at all, Jim. This is where that doesn't apply. And I can say that only because I just got one like a week ago. So, yeah, no, man. Health is a big thing. Like, I didn't realize that there was an amount or kind of food that could just throw me into being super fucking sick. You know what I mean? I have my whole life ate whatever the fuck I want from any buffet, any restaurant, any roadside sushi. I mean, anything. Never had a thing. I've, in the last 6 months, had at least 5 episodes of food poisoning that I think it's just my body deciding it doesn't like what I'm eating. Has nothing to do with it actually being food poisoning.
Then at that, it's just figuring out what you can and can't eat. It has nothing to do with like specific health. It's just what your body does.
Well, it is health. Your body doesn't process that shit no more. That's what I mean. Well, it's
I used to think that the gluten thing was bullshit. Not bullshit, because Sarah cannot have any wheat products, nothing like that, or it fucks her up. And from all my ankle stuff, I just realized when they did the X-rays that I have a ton of calcium deposit all over my ankle bones and all in my feet bones on both sides. And they let me know that, hey, in your future, this is going to cause you like really bad arthritis in your feet. Yeah, and they were just letting me know. And there are certain things you can do, like massage and things that'll break up that. But she said that some of them...
Well, old schoolers will call that crystals. The crystals that form in your feet. Yeah, and I've done that to myself where you reach down on it and you can feel it pop and crinkle. Yep. Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Yeah, they recommended me go to Headmasters and just pay for what do you call that? A
foot massage? You can fucking do that?
Well, yeah, you can pedicure. They'll fucking wash your feet and do your nails and rub your feet for like an hour.
I would hate to put a woman through this. Like,
not me, I would do it.
I'm like a 6 out of 10 from here down, and then when you get to my feet, I'm like a fucking troll 1 out of 10, dude.
You
guys remember my feet?
Stories.
You've seen these fucking feet, dude?
Yeah, I've seen them.
I've got ugly.
Remember in high school, I used to fucking, if we'd be at the beach, I'd bury my feet in the sand.
Yeah.
I fucking finally got over that because I thought, you know what? They're probably paying attention to this region.
Yeah.
way more than my feet, and I have never had a woman say anything about it. Like, unless I was like married to him for a while, and they're like, "Your fucking feet are gross, dude." Like, yeah. And
Can you put those under the covers?
Could you just not make me look at those?
Can you wear socks while we have sex, please?
I still have never let a woman give me a foot rub, ever.
I've gone away.
Ever.
I haven't had
Yeah, but you guys
many.
got normal fucking feet.
My,
If I had normal fucking
my
feet, I'd be
feet
like,
are- my
"Bitch,
feet are
please rub my
weird.
foot, dude."
So here's my feet, because I have such white feet. Any shoe I get either has to be a wide, which you have to special order those anywhere.
Yeah.
And then, like Nikes, Adidas, all those kind of have narrow shoes, so I have to get them like a half size bigger to get that width in them.
Yeah.
But my toes literally curl in like that. Like the pinky toe curls under like that.
Yeah, shape is one thing, but dude.
But then it fucks with the nail too. The nail gets fucked with on that, and then you have the. I know what you're talking about. And I've seen your feet, but I have the same issue with mine. But it's the toe curls in, and when it does, it fucks with the nail. So then you get the nail that curls
digs
under.
in. Yeah.
So you got to deal with that shit.
The older I've gotten, I've noticed it's like the veininess in the
Yeah,
feet
yeah,
that's
yeah.
gross to
They
me.
just
Like,
get to be
I was like
old.
sitting in the recliner the other day. I'm like, oh fuck, dude, I got my grandpa's feet. Man. I remember going to my grandpa's house, and my grandpa, he had just these feet that were just like veiny, and of course he had like the varicose thing going on, you know. But then his toenails were like all long and yellow, you know, and like curled
Talons
over.
and shit.
Yeah, like
Well, I think when
I
you get to a
remember-
certain age, you can't get to them
well, he
anymore.
couldn't. Yeah, there's no
So it's just like, fuck it.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when he was on his deathbed, we were like still kind of laughing about his toenails. Like people, like I remember like my grandma covering up his feet. Like the dude's on a ventilator, he can't even breathe on his own, and you're worried about his feet. Anyway,
No,
but
that makes sense.
I've noticed it over the years, and like I'm starting to notice like my toenails are getting thick now. Like when I go to cut them, I'm like, motherfuckers, you know. Fucking hits me in the eye.
Breaking pieces off.
Yeah,
and shit.
dude. It's just
Like, these chintzy fucking toenail
Yeah.
clippers, and they're like the best
they're
ones
the
you
best
can
ones.
get.
Yeah, they're the big ones, you know. But no, I'm super freaked out about that shit, dude. They were like, yeah, that's gonna cause you bad arthritis, and I'm like, oh, fucking great. So I'm gonna end up fucking in a wheelchair, can't walk. You know, I already get up in the morning, and as soon as my feet hit the ground, I'm like, oh shit. You know, it's like, god damn.
I noticed when I quit drinking and I quit smoking cigarettes is when the mornings weren't so bad. Because
Well, with cigarettes, you're not spending a half an hour hacking shit up in the
Well,
sink.
there's that, but like getting your mind to normal. Like, so that this is how I view like my everyday. I don't know about other people, but when I wake up, I am so far from where I feel like I'm cognitive and where I feel like I'm ready. Like, I wake up every day not really thinking I'm ready for the day. Where I'm like, oh, dude, no, not fucking today. But if I get up, I get my fucking chew in, I get my coffee in, I do my thing, you know, you can fucking trick yourself into like, no, I'm healthy, let's do this.
Yeah.
You know, but when I would drink, it's like you go to bed on your 6th or 7th beer, and you wake up with absolutely no cigarettes or alcohol in your system, and it's like shocked. It's like, what the fuck are you doing? Either keep it up or fucking don't, you know? Like, and that's...
Nope.
That's one big change for me is I was like, this drinking shit has to quit,
And your
dude.
circulation changes all over too because you're not.
Well, I felt like a
blocking those
million fucking bucks since I quit drinking.
Yeah.
You got
and
less
smoking.
headaches now, huh?
I haven't had a fucking headache in forever.
See, when I was smoking cigarettes, I was getting migraines.
Well, yeah, I would.
Really
I
bad
would.
fucking migraine headaches.
Well, you're like, it's so weird when people get into addiction, like, because cigarettes are just another addiction, just like coffee, just like anything else.
Yeah.
You'll fucking ride that line of the cigarette making you feel better, which is what leads to the chain smoking, and you'll ride it just up until you know it's about to give you a fucking migraine. You know, I've done that a million times, especially stressed out. I'll fucking light a cigarette off a cigarette.
Yep.
You know, and like with the pouches and shit, it doesn't affect me that way. It's like, well, I just put the fucking pouch in, and I forgot for like hours on end that I didn't even have one in. Mm-hmm. You know, the other day I was almost like, oh, fuck it, I'm not even going to buy another one. This is it. I'll just be done with fucking nicotine for a while. And then, of course, I was like, oh, fuck that, dude. I need something. You know, I need to have it.
Hard candy gets. Yeah.
Well, yeah, dude, I'm not fucking...
You don't want to be the old guy with him.
Well, I don't want to be like Shane, you know, like, give me a sarsaparilla and I'll go gunfight everybody. It's like, no, I'll just fucking... Yeah, you gotta have something. You know, even preachers say that shit, dude. They'll be like, well, everybody has something. Which is creepy now that I'm older, because I got told that by a preacher when I was a kid. He's like, well, everybody has a habit. Don't feel bad. And I'm like...
No, come with me.
Right, now that I think about it as an adult, I'm like, that motherfucker was going to fuck me. No, it was a preacher, not a priest.
Diddle something.
You know how to get a nun pregnant?
Huh?
You know how to get a nun pregnant?
Huh?
Dress her up like an altar boy.
Burn.
What's the only meat a priest eats on Friday?
Huh?
None.
Oh shit. Wait for it. Now I lost it. Oh, how do you get altar boy tears out of priest robes? Holy water.
I heard one the other day.
There went 3 of our 15 viewers.
I fucking doubt Catholics are listening to this show right now.
Probably not. I heard another good one the other day. This Amish mom and daughter are riding in the buggy and they're going down the road and she goes, Mom, God, my hands are so cold. She's like, well, put them between your legs and they'll warm up, dear. And she does it. About 10 minutes later down the road, she goes, Mom, it worked. She goes, I told you. So like the next day she's, riding down the road with her boyfriend. And the boyfriend's like, my hands are so cold, sweetie. And she's like, well, put it between my legs. They'll warm up. So he does. And he's like, oh, it's working. And she goes, I know. My mom taught me that trick. So a couple of days later, they're riding down the road and it got a little bit colder. And he goes, God, my nose is so frozen. It's so cold. She goes, well, put it between my legs. We'll warm it up. So he does. And he pops his head back up about 5 minutes later. He goes, it's working. It's not as cold. So a couple more days later, they're riding down the road and he's, God, my dick is so frozen. My penis is frozen solid. So like the next day, she's talking to her mother. She goes, Mother? She goes, yes, dear. She goes, do you know what a penis is? She goes, yeah, but how do you know what it is? She goes, well, Jebediah's was frozen solid, but you know those things make a giant mess when they thaw out?
Fuck yeah, dude.
Oh, shit. You guys ever remember? I don't know. This is kind of an old boy thing. My grandpa taught me these, but you remember the book titles?
Oh, God.
Yeah,
like the Little Yellow River by I.P. Freely.
Yeah.
Or the Under the Bleachers by I See More Butts.
Who Flung Dung by, oh, God, what was it? Oh, no, Spots on the Deck by Who Flung Dung.
Yeah. Bloody Saddles by the Tampax Kid.
Kotex Kid.
I love that shit.
Up in the Treetops by Who Goosed the Moose.
Actually, I like that the most.
Shit, what's one? 20 Yards to the Outhouse, written by Willie Make It, edited by Betty Don't.
I love it, dude. Fuck yeah.
My dad could sit there and go like all those. Like,
I honestly, that might be where I got those.
Well, fucking dad jokes, man. I got that page on my Facebook. Yeah. And but shout out to that page, by the way. I tried posting Fancy Tickles to the page. They said no self-promotion. And I said, oh, so what's dad jokes as a page? Like, well, it's our page. I was like, so you're promoting it. And I just like put the little winky smiley thing there and just left it there, But yeah, anyway, it's good shit though. They have all sorts of fucking good dad jokes on there. Actually, I should just fucking.
Oh no, I'm out of my.
Should I just pull a dad joke up?
Go for it. Give us one that they got on there. I've got some good ones that I've seen lately. Some good memes.
My problem is I'm the type of person, I'll hear a really good fucking joke and I'll have it on my mind. I'll tell a couple people and then it's just gone. But I think it's like that with a lot of people. I remember a lot of stupid fucking ones. Or mine, like the story jokes that go on for a while. Like, okay, like the other day I did the one where I'm like, hey, I'm having a party at my house next week. You want to come? Yeah.
Sure.
You want to come? All right. There's gonna be loud music. You okay with that?
Yeah,
okay,
for sure.
We're gonna be cooking food, spicy food. You good with that?
I can handle it a little bit.
All right. There's gonna be loud music. You good?
Yeah.
Right. There's gonna be a lot of sex.
Well, duh.
Good. Okay. Good. It's just gonna be me and you, bro. like you can really get somebody going. Like my dad had story jokes. Those ones like go for a while. You get somebody reeled into something.
My dad's had a couple like that he's told me it's like I had a dream the other night and all three of us were in it and I just won the lotto, right? bought this brand new fucking convertible. We're all driving down the coast, just heading down to California, right? Hitting this winding road, and out of nowhere, like, Bryce taps me on the shoulder, and I look over, and I just completely miss the turn, and we just shoot off into the water. But for some reason, we all come back as a different animal. We're all reincarnated as different creatures and stuff like that. You know, so I come back as a shark. You know, Bryce comes back as an eagle, just jumps out of the water and just starts flying everywhere. It was pretty cool. It was kind of crazy. You know, those kind of things happen.
What about?
Sorry, Sean. Shit don't float.
Awesome.
Or I had a dream the other night, and I was just me and Sean walking through just got up to heaven. I died, you know, and I'm up there and I'm heaven, you know, just wiggling my toes through a patch of fucking women's breasts, just wiggling my toes, pinching the nipples and shit, just all over the place. And I know Sean's up there somewhere, so I look over my shoulder, and there he is playing squat tag in an asparagus patch.
Oh my god. Well, now this isn't so good. So, like, the dad jokes ones are short. They're like, I just noticed 2 large bumps on my car battery. Had them tested, and one came back positive. Hope it's not terminal. Like, just super dad jokes, you know? Or like the silly ones like this. Some of them are good, some are bad, but it's like, dad philosophy on life. Do I have any idea how to fix this? No. Will that stop me from trying? Also no. Did you get fly? Eat it. Good for you. But yeah, dude, like, dad jokes are the best. They're like there's one on here people probably associate with this better. So it's a text one. So like the first person's like, bike still for sale? And the other person says, yes, it is. And the other one says, what's the lowest you'll go on it? And the guy responds back, says, 2 miles per hour. Anything less than that and you'll tip over. You know, shit like that.
Well, that's like the magician one that I sent you guys the other night. Like, imagine you're fucking a magician.
Yeah.
And he comes inside you. And you start freaking out. And then he goes, whoops, psych, check your ear.
Sean didn't get it.
So still.
Sean didn't fucking get it. It's all right.
Like, cum came out of her ear?
No, so like,
Dude,
you know
man, the quarter
when a
joke.
magician. So he's like, watch the quarter, and it disappears.
Yeah.
And
so
then
like
they
when
pull
you're
it out from behind your ear.
right?
Like his dick?
No, the quarter, dude. Like,
so the
like,
quarter is the
this
cum.
is the joke. Here's the joke.
Don't get your dick out,
I'm gonna get my dick out. So we're gonna pretend my keys. Or fuck, I can't believe I'm doing this, dude. So we're gonna pretend that this is
Here.
my quarter, right?
Okay.
And I'm like, watch them disappear, right? And you're like, where'd the quarter go? And the magician's like, oh, it was behind your ear.
Yeah.
That's the cum joke, because she
So
said
she's
to pull
getting
out.
fucked instead of getting. He's like, he didn't pull out, so he just came in her. So she's freaking out, like, God damn it, I'm gonna get pregnant. I don't need this. And he's like, whoops, psych, check your ear.
Okay, no, I get
Yeah,
it.
he hit it
Get your
behind
attention
ear.
off. Okay, yeah, I got you. It took me like 4 fucking days.
Yeah, dude.
Damn.
We've talked about this a little bit. Like, he doesn't get it. Like, this is a joke for, I guess, in person.
Crayons and paper.
Crayons
to
and paper.
explain to Sean.
Sean, circle, square. For those of you who don't know, our set is always pretty fucking impromptu. Like, we try and put... I mean, this is the coolest it's ever been, where we have, like, the same spot every time, especially now that we're filming. And we wanted to have a round table, right? And so we've all kind of been on the lookout for a round table instead of a square table. And we've joked about, like, no more square tables. Like, it doesn't work when we use a square table. And Sean sends a fucking picture of a table. He's like, dudes, I got the perfect fucking table, but it's square. And I sent every mean emoji and said everything bad to him I could think to say, like, dude, we wanted a round table. It's better to have saved your money than to buy another square table. And Sean's like, now I'm fucking with Bryce. And he's like, no, dude, it'll be perfect. We'll put something on it, which is what we already are doing.
Yeah.
And it'll be perfect. And so I filmed a video of my son, Ollie. He's 3. He's really smart, but he's 3. And I took a big sheet of fucking paper, and I drew a square on one side and a circle on the other. And I filmed it, and I'm like, Ollie, what's that, buddy? And he's like, square. And I'm like, what's that, buddy? He's like, circle. You know, because he's super fucking pumped, you know. It's like a test for him, right?
It was pretty
I'm
good.
like, and he's 3 years old. And so I sent it to Sean. Fucking
The next day, he still sends us a picture. Dudes, I got it. And it's just a square table leaned up against his wall.
Well,
and I was like, at that point, I messaged Bryce. I was like, I'll let you handle this one again. I'm not even going to deal with this.
But yeah.
So until we find...
Well, and this works good. It was
works.
just so funny to have this basic bitch argument conversation about a round/square table. Like, listen, we could put our $5 together and go buy a brand new round table, which isn't true. It's not true at all. They don't make a
you
round
can't find
fold-out table.
And if
Which
you
is
do,
stupid as fuck.
they're on like Amazon for like $85.
Yeah.
I ain't buying no fucking $85 table.
No. I mean, we let Jim spend money on shit, but not us.
I'm the stupid one.
Oh, you're not stupid. You had to buy a laptop and a camera people and a microphone and a... You know what I mean? And our production guys over in the corner and fucking everybody in charge of electrical over there.
Yeah, we got Pete.
It takes a lot to get
He
this
helps
fucking
us
thing
out.
going, just to let you guys know. Like, we put a lot into this, so, you know, like, subscribe, share, just saying. Anyhow.
Whatever you feel like doing.
Yeah, keep listening even would be great.
You scratch my back and I'll scratch your back.
I'll do more than scratch backs, dude. If a listener happens to be a lady and she happens to personal message me and say, hey, I'll get 15 guys to really like your fucking podcast and blow it up and share it and all that.
That was going.
Well, I didn't think it was going there either.
No.
But I want you to do certain things to me. I might be up for it because that's how dedicated to the show I am. I mean, I'll still tell her, have a bowl of green M&Ms prepared for me. You know what I mean? Because I'm a rock star.
She spreads her legs and it's just full of green M&Ms.
That would be fucking terrible. I'd be like, you just ruined green M&Ms. I don't care how hot that thing is.
Just this, like...
Get that
like
truck.
melted-
Yeah, because it's all the melted M&Ms, and you're like, why is it green and brown? What is happening? Because it's the green
that
M&Ms.
hot chocolate smell.
Yeah, when it's from an M&M, not like Hershey's, but when it's
Yeah.
when it's that kind.
There's
Supposed to
something
wipe
about
back
that.
the front, not front the back.
You haven't been wiping, period, young lady.
What's that movie where it's like, oh, it's super bad, where it's like, you scratch my back and I'll scratch yours, but the funny thing about my back is it's on my cock.
Oh, fuck, I missed it,
Yeah.
dude. I didn't even think of that reference. Son of a
I was
bitch.
getting there and I was like, God, what
Dude,
movie is that from?
just interrupt next time because that's gold.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
But my back is on my
On my
cock. Yeah, what the fuck else is going on in the world, guys? The moon still got a crash. So, this is kind of a harken back sort of episode. I've done it a couple times now. But, like, so we talked about last week that there's a crack on the moon, and I kind of, like, did my Google research like most people do and just take the first 4 words out of every article, and then now I have, like, a super strong opinion on it. So, instead of doing that, I, like, deep dove. I went on NASA, looked at their pictures. I went on the Chinese NASA. I don't know what they're actually called. I'm sorry. But I'm going to call them Chinese NASA. They have picture JASA.
Chassa.
Perfect.
Chassa.
That's fucking perfect.
Chassa.
I went on Japa.
Jappa?
So I checked it out, and there is a fucking cracks in the moon,
Yeah.
right? So, but here's the part I wanted to make everybody feel better for. So, I looked up when this supposedly happened.
Over time.
4.3 billion years ago, this happened to the moon. It's been happening the entire time the moon's up there, and it's going to keep happening, and it's a big enough planetesimal, or moon, whatever you want to call it. I like the word planetesimal. That's what Pluto supposedly is. It's not a planet, it's a planetesimal.
They took that one away from us.
So, we're good on the moon.
Oh.
Like, at least our lifetimes, I think we're good. And I think, based on everything I read, even if the moon was in like 100 pieces, its gravity to its central mass, because of the way space works, would hold it together. Like, those pieces would constantly be pressured. Like, it would only take, what they said was like, if it was in 100 pieces and then an asteroid hit the moon, then it could push a piece towards Earth's orbit enough that it pulled it to us. Now the moon weighs less, so it goes closer to us as a whole, and then individually pieces would come. But even that process would take something like 500 million years to happen. Like, it's so far away from us, but still stuck under gravity, that it would take forever it would change incrementally, like an inch a year or something like that, or a foot a year.
The moon is like the Earth's fucking whipping boy, is what it is.
It is. That's its purpose.
It just fucking takes all of this
now,
shit.
so I looked that up too. That's cool you brought that up, because we look at the moon and we see nothing but asteroid impacts, and we think, well, look, there's the proof that it's only because of the moon and its gravity that we're not dealing with asteroids as much. It's not true. We have active tectonic plates, bodies of water, and growth. Our planet has been bombarded by 100 times as many asteroids, meteorites, whatever, comets, all that kind of shit that the moon ever did. The reason the moon doesn't is it has essentially no tectonic activity, and there's nothing to change its geography. There's, like, other than our footprints, supposedly, on the moon, there's nothing on the moon to change what we see. So, like, the shit you see now was probably there millions of years ago. So, we're good. We're all good.
It amazes me over time, like, knock on wood, but there's, out of, the only scientific, like, huge asteroid impact that we have proof of is, like, what killed the dinosaurs. Supposedly. You know, and what state is that where that crater is?
Probably Arizona, New Mexico, one of those
somewhere
places.
In there with that big giant, where they're saying that's where that took place.
Right.
But anyways, I just think it's, I don't know, we get hit by asteroids all the time and things like that.
Right, small ones.
Small ones. But it's I don't know. I don't want to see it in my lifetime, but, like, there's a small part of me that wants to see that big fucker come through the sky, like, just fucking. You know what I mean? Like your typical movie,
like
asteroid,
Armageddon. Big enough that it doesn't actually take everything out, but big enough to be significant.
Yeah.
So, like, there has been some relatively significant asteroid strikes.
I have seen. Have
so
you guys
in
seen
Russia,
an asteroid?
I've seen like shooting stars, whatever.
I've seen one when my dad was living in Weippe. I didn't mean. Sorry to interrupt.
No, you're good.
We were both sleeping on the same futon because I lived in a little tiny trailer, and there's just fucking bright ass light. And as we both looked up, we saw it come through, and we heard it come through the tree line. And we literally got in his pickup and tried to find this fucking thing.
Right.
Couldn't find it, of course, you know, because it probably was
way further away than you think.
Yeah, but that was the coolest thing I've ever seen. You could see it, just this blue, yellow streak.
Right.
Yeah, it was the coolest thing.
Well, so there's a threshold to the size of an asteroid. So here's a cool little piece of information. Because of the same restrictions that space shuttles have when they come in, they experience this intense fucking heat and pressure to get back in. Out is only a fuel issue, in is a heat issue.
Yeah.
So if they are small enough to make it through there in one piece, they typically are small enough to not create like a global catastrophe. Yeah. If they are big enough, as they're coming through, they are.
Isn't it that
it can create an explosion in the sky. That's essentially what happens. And there's actually a stamp from like 1465 in, I believe, Lithuania. It was the stamp that they used for mail or whatever, and it was a depiction of that happening. And for the longest time, it was attributed to God or whatever religious experience. But it was essentially a what they call a woodcut of this thing happening.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, it's happened in what we would call, like, our small time scale. Yeah. Like, even 2,000 years ago is, like, nothing when it comes to the age of the planet or even the age of civilization. So, we've seen it. And then in, like, 1857, 58, so I'm probably off, but if there's somebody way smarter than me, hit us up on the Fancy Tickles page on Facebook. Hit up Fancy Tickles on Instagram. Let us know if I'm right about this. But in Russia, there was an actual strike in Siberia.
Yep.
And what had happened was it was the equivalent of the two bombs combined that struck Hiroshima and Nagasaki. So we're talking like 150 kilotons of TNT explosive force going off. and they have like people's depictions and woodcuts from then, and pictures and paintings of people where the trees for like 500 miles are laid flat.
Yep.
Like not just where this fucking giant crater exists, but like, boom, it like caused
They
a
got
fucking
really lucky
scene.
where that landed.
Right. Well, and you got to
because
think
there was like, you remember the dash cam videos? Because everybody over in Russia, like insurance wise, you have to have that dash cam. That's why you have all those Russian dash cam videos. I remember.
Fuck, really?
Yeah, so there's dash cam videos of when that came over.
Well, I'm
And
talking about the one that happened in 1857.
Oh,
so they're probably
there was okay. There was another one.
Oh, okay.
This was just about 5-6 years ago.
Okay.
That came through, and it was Russia as well. And they've got dash cam videos of people driving on the freeway, and you see it coming over the freeway, but not that big. But
well, enough to be significant that people were like, "Oh,
visually see it in the daytime."
Yeah. And I've only ever seen like shooting stars. I've seen. I remember. Was it Hale Bop? Was that the name of the comet that came through? There was Halley's Comet, and then there was Hale Bop.
Halley's
or something
Comet
like
came
that.
through in '86, right after I was.
So then
born.
it was Hale Bop when we were alive. This was because you could see it in the sky for a pretty significant amount of days.
You could see it during the day. You could see it during the night.
Yeah. I only remember trying to look at night, but maybe that was my ignorance of being like 8 years old or whatever when it happened. Where I'm like, oh.
Hell, we got to live through the solar eclipse. That was one of the coolest things I've witnessed.
And that was like every 80 years or some shit that happens.
It was actually creepy. Is what it was. It was weird.
Yeah. Well, I dig it though.
Yeah.
It is kind of weird when the lights shut off in the middle of the day though.
Yeah, and all the shadows were weird.
Strange. Yeah, they switch where they're at. Yeah.
Yeah, so you're like, put your hand out, and like your shadow is on like
you
the
got
opposite
two shadows or whatever. Yeah.
The leaves on the trees were all shadowed. Weird. It was weird.
Well, and I can't remember what movie it is. One of the Armageddon-y type movies, but that was one of the focal points of the visuals. They were showing like this scene of a tree, and all of a sudden the fucking shadow starts like spinning weird, like all the way around it, and then all of a sudden it pans to the sky, and here comes the fucking asteroid or whatever. It probably was a dinosaur type movie if I remember right, but yeah, it like spun as it was fucking up. Like it had so much light and heat and sun, and then it's flying through, and it causes this crazy shadow effect as it's trying to spin its way around or whatever.
See, there's much worse things that can happen than a presidential election.
Oh, I don't even give a fuck about that, dude. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, we need something like
whatever we
like
gotta live
aliens
through.
could be awesome right now. Like if we had them like pull up and they're like, listen, fuckers, this is happening.
Yep.
Like imagine how many redneck friends with how many hippie friends would be like, okay, so we don't like each other, but we really fucking don't like those guys.
Yeah.
They have phaser guns and shit. You want to learn how to shoot a gun? Because it's not like killing a human. It's like killing something that's never been here before.
Remember playing Area 51 at the arcade when you were a kid?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah,
like
dude.
that.
Every
Like that.
kid played it, too.
It's like that.
I just
that
watched
game was awesome.
we've been watching that Paranormal Witness, and we just watched the episode of the what do they call it? I can't remember the exact name of what they call the exact episode of what it was. Anyway.
Oh, I got you.
But it's you guys have probably heard of it. It's like those it's like the 8 loggers that were out, and the one they stop because they see the big light in that field. The one guy gets out, and he gets abducted, and the rest of them come back to town just freaked out as hell. They get questioned because they think that they murdered this guy. There's news media in on it, and then like 3 days later, the guy just shows up out of nowhere, and he's like remembers it all. It's really cool. I can't remember.
Well,
Yeah, you'll have to look it up.
yeah.
Yeah,
Is this a
it's
show on
cool.
like Roku or Netflix or something so I can
Yeah,
find it for free?
yeah,
Like, because
yeah.
I'm still on the cheap thing. I won't
Yeah.
do the.
Yeah,
That
if
thing
it's
yet.
on, if you got Roku, just look up. I think it's Peacock.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you can
okay.
download that one on your
Yeah.
phone, and they have
And
a
it's
lot of
free.
free stuff on
Yeah,
there.
but look that up because that's a cool, and that's legit.
Well, and there's a story of a woman in Australia. So this happened in, I want to say the 90s. So modern, like where cameras and phones.
Oh,
and
is this
people...
from the Scared to Death one?
Yeah.
Okay.
So this woman supposedly is abducted, and people. I don't remember. This is the key point of the story. I don't remember if people saw her be taken, and then they were accused of murder, But the woman, essentially, she gets taken. People are trying to find her. And in the amount of, like, 2 hours or something like that, she's, like, 8 hours away calling from a phone booth in another part of Australia. Like, I don't know why I'm here. I don't know what happened. But here's where I'm at.
Holy shit.
And there's physically no way, because here's where the modern era comes in. No plane tickets, no bus tickets, no nothing. And a plane's the only thing that could make that stint. Yeah. A plane is literally the only thing on the planet that can make the stint, and she never got a ticket. During a time when you had to have an ID to get on a plane, you had to be part of a login roster or whatever, where it shows every passenger on the plane. Because we're talking at a time right after Desert Storm. Like right after the World Trade Center got hit the first time. Not hit, bombed. And they just did a shitty job, so it was fine.
It was just the parking lot.
It was the parking lot, and nothing happened. It was in the basement. Anyway, so those are the stories that I'm like, this was in modern time. This is provable. This is trackable.
The only evidence from that one, too, though, that they found was, like, burn marks somewhere on the... It was either on the house or on the yard somewhere.
Didn't she have like weird marks, though?
Yeah,
she had like 2 on her ankle, 2 on her knees, and 2 on her shoulder tips that were weird burny things.
See, and this guy had, like, the burn and an injection site just on one arm, but it wasn't your normal, like a medical IV needle. It was big.
Yeah.
And then there was no evidence in the area, so when the cops were doing all the big investigation, there was like these 4 dudes that weren't involved in any of the local, like, police or anything, or the FBI. They were there on their own, and nobody knew who they were. They were in different suits. They had hard hats. They were walking through, and they had is it Geiger counters
for radioactivity?
Yeah, and they were going through, and people were like, "Well, what's going on?" But the guys that were there were like, "Okay, they're looking for radioactivity, obviously."
Right.
And so they went up to him and they're like, "Hey, can you scan us? Because we were there." Well, they scanned them. Well, see, they had already gone home. They'd already changed their clothes. They've already showered, so nothing came up. He was like, "Wait, I'll be right back. I've got our hard hats from when we were working there in the truck." They scanned those. The meter just goes nuts. Right? And then the guys, like, write down some information. They're like, "Thank you." They get in their car. They leave. Done.
Never seen again. Yeah. The only ones that always bug me, and I bet you're probably about to make this point, is when people say independently, people say they've had an experience, but then they have like an IV mark or something. That's when I start going, all right, the CIA is fucking with people. Or some large organization like that is fucking with people. Like, why? I don't know. But they're trying to, if anything... like, if you want to be the best shot in the world, what do? That. You practice shooting.
Yep.
Right? You shoot a gun 100,000 billion million times.
Shoot, not shit, Sean.
Yeah, don't shit your pants.
Shoot, not shit.
Let's not make it a point just because you poo-pooed your pants. Okay. Did you poop your pants?
No.
Right?
It's got a slight tinge to it, though. I apologize.
That's okay. I can work past it if we could stop talking about poop. So, if the CIA wanted to practice, say, the ability to inject a thought into you, what your memory is, well, first you would have to disorient that person, probably a chemical process, a drug process, whatever, and then a series of whatever. That is pretty fucking bad, dude. Holy cow. Wow. So, anyway, whew.
I don't know what you're bitching for. I'm on the side by the heater, so as soon as it makes it to me, it's just going to bake it.
Poor Jim. You have to continue.
So in every one, there's either that they have a slight recollection of like being like a surgical mask being put over their face,
or like an ominous close, like I've talked about with the alien thing or the spirity ghost thing, where you feel you're stuck in a bubble or whatever type of thing. That would make the most sense when it comes to your mind being altered, because even like the toy box killer in New Mexico, he was just a regular fucking park ranger dude, and he figured out a cocktail of not only drugs but physical harm and mental anguish that he could put on a person that most of his victims that he let go.
That dude was fucking twisted.
That
you
dude
ever listen to any of that?
Oh,
I
dude.
haven't.
You need
Okay.
to look up exactly what the toy box killer did to people, because he would literally drop women back off on the street,
Yeah.
and they would have like no fucking recollection what happened to him
But
for
was-
like 5 or 6 months or a year at a time.
Well, that's how long you would
was he
keep him,
like
though,
a,
too.
like a rapist, torturer guy?
Serial killer type guy, yeah,
BTK
yeah.
is bind, torture, kills, what it stands for. But he also
Yeah.
did a thing where he would have
I'm talking about the toy box killer.
a toy box killer.
So toy box killer was the one in New Mexico
BTK
that
was
had.
him. That was
oh, that's a different
BTK
one.
was
Toy box is the one I'm thinking of though too, because he was the one that had the girlfriend do it.
doing it with
assault
him.
with him.
So without getting into the gross stuff, because some people probably won't like this part of it, but
Just
let's
look up
just,
his dog box.
Yeah. Look up anything that guy did. So he had a trailer. He had essentially like a Connex style trailer, like a semi truck trailer,
You can look up
converted
pictures
into
of that,
a
too.
torture chamber. Like we're talking every kind of sexual deviant device, surgical tables, chairs that people can be strapped in, equipment to torture people, machinery used to torture people. And we're talking like a fiendish human fucking being, and we're
Dude
talking
was nuts.
in the dozens of victims counts, not just a dozen.
Yeah.
You know, like and he had done it for years and years and years and years before he was ever caught, and he only got charged with 2 of them, I believe, and he never got charged with murder, right? But so, what the fuck was I talking about?
Oh, how he can the way he
So he
the
would
concoction,
manipulate
yeah.
mine and give them drugs and give them things to essentially brainwash them. And he has a video that he played. So this is how intense this cat is. The movie Saw
Yeah.
got its idea from this guy. So in the beginning, when a video comes on and you're watching a video
Yeah.
and it tells you what you're going to go through to not die with Saw, this motherfucker played a video that he had recorded something like 7 years or 8 years prior to when they caught him, meaning that every victim of this guy had to watch this video, essentially him saying, well, you're now in my toy box. You are now mine. I'll let you go when I fucking feel like it. Don't fight it. You'll only make it worse for yourself.
Yeah.
Because me and my lady like it when you don't like it, essentially. And so...
Also, he had a partner with him.
Well,
he had 2 partners.
So
and
it was
check this
him
out.
at
His
first.
daughter and his fucking girlfriend.
How in the fuck, dude? That is...
It was bad. Like, so it talks about he starts off on his own, and then he brings in his daughter, and then his daughter dips, and then he picks up a chick at a bar, and they just kind of do their thing, and then they get into the point where they discuss, like, this is kind of what I'm into, and she's like, I'll help you do it.
Yeah, she was essentially, I hate everything and everybody, so yeah, that sounds awesome. And fucking full tilt.
And
went
so,
into
like,
it with him.
when he wasn't getting orally pleased,
Yeah.
she would be doing it, and he's like, we will take turns and we will enjoy watching each other, and when we're done, then we will either rape you or we will walk away and go about our business, but you're gonna stay here until we're done with you. And the more, like
Was
I
it
said,
men and women?
No,
it was
they
only
would
women.
only pick up women.
and they were usually like in their early like
20s,
18
let's
to
say.
early 20s, late mid 20s.
Young women.
Holy shit.
And yeah, they would. In one fucking instance, he had tortured a woman for however. Now, this is the part that fucking trips you out. So he had tortured a woman for like a week. And after brainwashing her, and this guy's a park ranger, by the way. So he comes up in his park ranger truck with his park ranger fucking outfit, her in the seat, takes her back to her house somehow, even though she is absolutely incoherent at this point, and drops her off, say, hey, your daughter said this is where she lives. She's apparently been through something, whatever. The mom and the boyfriend that this woman supposedly had just dipped on, right? Like, so she just goes missing, and the husband's all mad. Her new husband's mad. He's like, well, would she just fucking take off and leave me and go mess around for a week or whatever? They fucking turn her away. You go do your own fucking thing. She gets back in the fucking truck with the guy. The guy takes her, and he's like, well, sorry, honey. Guess you go back in the box. And kept her for like another 6 fucking months.
Whoa.
And
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
That's fucked. I've
The
never
dog
heard of
thing-
Like,
that one.
Rob Zombie couldn't even come up with the shit in fake. And this shit's real.
It's amazing to me how I think we've talked about how the human mind, like how some people like there's just no empathy for things.
Right.
Like I'm just gonna take this person and put them in a tractor trailer and torture them and
yeah.
I don't.
Not only that you could, right? Because there's lots of like I've expressed this numerous times. The laws of man keep me in line, right? So like if there was a fucking guy fucking with me and wouldn't leave me alone and like step to me physically, if I knew I wasn't going to jail, I would hit him as hard as I could.
Yeah.
If he pulled a knife on me, I would have no qualms when shooting him. I just wouldn't. But I also don't gain satisfaction in that. I just know I could go to that place if I had to.
Yeah.
And there's a whole nother step of fucking monster that's like, not only does that not bother me, I fucking like it. And you're like, what the fuck is up with that? Like, how could, like people that are, like, say you're a womanizer, you chase a lot of women, you fucking picking up women all the time.
Yeah.
The draw is that they like you back, not that you're gonna, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like I've tricked you into my van, now I'm gonna fucking chain you down and get what I want, and then I'll just drop you back off or whatever. So, like, I've never experienced it, but if a woman didn't want to have sex, I also wouldn't want to have sex with her. I'd be like, well, if you're not in the mood, I definitely am not. Like, that's a big part of my fucking... Right. And some of these people get hard as a fucking stick of granite as soon as somebody tells them they don't like something. And it just goes further and further. That's a fucking crazy part of the human mind. Because your brain looks just like mine, looks just like his, just like fucking Bundy's, just like any of these fucking guys. If you were to just cut them out of our heads and put them on a table, you wouldn't tell the difference between our brains. No. And that's fucking fascinating, dude.
Yeah.
On that same note, I saw this thing where they were taking biological slides of Einstein's brain, right? And his... the way his brain is built, like, it would look physically different than ours. So, like, more synapse receptors, more neurons more. He had the ability to think better because he had physically had a better way. It wasn't intellect; it was he was built with more processing power.
Gotcha.
And they're like, I don't know what they're trying to do. I didn't gather that from why they're slicing his brain up and looking at it under microscope things, other than I'm like, you guys are trying to figure out what's in there. Like, we could, like, that's a fallacy of our brain as well, just there, where we're like, I will look at something and gain something from it. Like, your brains are really, really, really small hard drive, right? Like, so, yeah. I mean, but other than studying that, like, all of our brains are the same. Like, that's fucking... crazy, I guess, is what falls you into that. Is it situational? Is it... Because that would have to mean that everybody has that ability.
It could be just, like you said, like tricking the brain, or a process to go through to build the brain to that portion to
sure.
do that.
And there's just, like, there's a lot of instances, like John Wayne Gacy was severely abused as a child, especially head injury. So now we're talking about damage to the brain that would shut off certain functions. The Watchtower killer in Texas, the one that fucking climbed up in the big watchtower and fucking shot a bunch of people with sniper rifles and all that kind of shit. He had a traumatic brain injury like a year before or some shit like that he was trying to work through. There's things that can hint at it or whatever, you know, but then also in my brain it's like, I've been punched in the head 1,000 billion million times. I've fallen on my skateboard 1,000 million billion times. I have never once developed the thought to go get rapey or murder people. Yeah. Like, that's the part that just, like, what makes some people's brain injuries lend to that.
So I think it's the empathy thing. Like, it's, you don't necessarily feel the need or it doesn't make you happy. It's not like a revenge thing where, like, now I'm the one in control over that person now. Gotcha. So it's like, you were abused as a kid because your parent was in charge. They were the adult. They were the bigger, more muscle than you were. They had the guts to do it. Yeah.
They had the control.
And now it puts you in a position of power, of control and stuff like that.
And you're seeing where that goes.
Yes. And you're
that
seeing
makes
that's
sense.
A power trip on you.
Yeah, I've seen... I have, like, a series called called America's Serial Killers. It's like a 4-disc set or whatever, and it goes through all angles of what serial killers were and when it became a fascination and a thing and a problem in America. And they kind of harken to that same thing where it's like if it's done, it's kind of like rapers are usually raped and like that kind of
Sexually
thing.
abused and stuff like that.
Right, and so, but that's still, I mean, maybe it's because we're normal that it just doesn't click. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, like you said, like we haven't gone through any of those traumatic.
I mean, my stepdad beat my ass when I was little, and
but
threw
not
me
in
around.
that sense.
But that only makes me want to hear somebody's story, be like, my stepdad's beating my ass, and it makes me want to go to their house and hit their stepdad with a baseball bat.
yeah.
You know, that doesn't make me want to be like, I'm gonna.
Well, and
get
that comes
somebody
into
and
like
be
pride
powerful.
safety. That comes into
You know?
village safety, like your pack
Yeah,
or what
yeah.
what do you call humans
Pack mentality.
when you're in a fucking I mean
Well,
okay,
it's basically that's what I mean.
essentially pack mentality where you're like you instinctually want to protect the smallest and the weakest in your group. That's just and if it's another human, regardless of the situation, that's what's going to come by. Be like, I'm going to go fuck that guy up. You know?
Then I think that's why they say a lot of times too, if they weren't sexually abused, the physical abuse, that's why a lot of the kids that are younger don't necessarily pick on the kids for a minute. They start with the animals.
Yeah.
Because animals have
Aren't
no
gonna tell on
defense.
them.
Yeah, they can't tell. Obviously, they don't like, most of the time it's like puppies or cats or something like that.
They're taking out the thing that is lesser to them.
And
Yeah.
you hear that a lot when it comes
Yeah.
to serial killers. Like, hey, like they'll interview like a neighbor or something that witnessed, like, hey, yeah,
He
was
burned a cat.
cutting this cat's head off, or
Right.
hung a lizard from a crucifix in their backyard, or like something weird like that.
That's a true story. I don't know if
I know.
Yes.
I was trying to let it
Not
fucking...
saying anything weird. Not saying that he's
No, it ain't.
like
Well,
that,
because
'cause
then
he's
there's
not.
children's fascinations with death
Yeah,
and life.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's whatever, too.
I mean, that's like Haley right now. She's got this thing right now with like we found, like I was telling, this has been on here, but the squirrel skull thing, you know, and she,
Right.
you know, she wanted me to glue it all back together, and I was like, fuck no. You can have the skull. I ain't gluing this whole fucking squirrel together for you, you know.
And
But-
that's just a curious fascination
Yeah.
with something that was alive, and actually, so that I haven't like delved into that, but I've thought of that when watching the show or whatever, and I'm like, I wonder what that's about. It's actually a need inherently to want to make it alive again.
Yeah.
So it's actually a good thing when a kid's like fascinated by like dead things, and you see him like trying to make them alive again, or like trying to do things like that's totally different than like wanting to make it dead.
Yeah.
Right, it's like that. It's a morbid fascination. That's why we have vets and shit. You know what I mean? Like,
True.
Somebody, because I'm not willing to go pick up a dead squirrel. I don't care how fucking funny the joke would be if I did something with it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just sorry, I'm not fucking with a dead squirrel. I also have a very irrational fear. So this happened.
Don't tell us this because we might fuck with you.
From hunting. It requires you guys to fucking do dirty work too. So like. I always thought, we'd go hunting when I lived in Antone, and you shoot a deer, and it falls down, right? Bear and cougar way more than deer, but so they go down, right? And you have to approach it. I don't trust that something's dead. Like, I always...
tap.
As a kid, I would fucking let one off real fucking close. Like, I'm going for a fucking heart or something to fucking ensure that thing ain't fucking being tricky. Especially bear, dude. Like, my irrational fear of bears, which I live in town now. Bears are not on my fucking radar.
Yeah.
Like,
There's
but
that one club downtown where you got to worry about the bears, but you're not too bad off.
if there was a fucking bear out in my yard, do you know how goddamn many bullets would be flying out of my front door and windows at said bear? And then when said bear fell down, how many more times I would shoot it with every gun that I own until there was just a bear soup out in the middle of my fucking courtyard before I decided that bear no longer.
Yeah.
Which is ironic because I'm the one that took the picture of the bear that was running around Joel and Jordan. Remember that in high school?
Yeah.
The picture in the paper of the bear in the yard, I took that picture. Because Joel's mom worked at the Tribune at the time.
Right.
And so, but I never had, from like here to the bear, I'm like, well, there's cops and shit everywhere, and I was just a stupid teenager, so like, you shut some of that shit off to be cool. And but now I'd be like, there's a bear outside, huh? Well, cool. Lock all my doors, shut the lights off, stop cooking dinner. You know, like whatever would make bear come around me, you know.
That just makes me think of like the Freddy Got Fingered scene where he like kills the deer. And then he like puts it on and he's like dancing around in the road. He gets hit by the fucking semi. You okay, buddy?
One of my favorite scenes from that is when he's fucking pulls over, he's eating that sandwich, and the horses are fucking out in the... And he's like... as it's like getting it on our...
I remember my dad bought that from TR Video when they were still open. And he was like... So I saw this down there, and I knew you've been wanting to see it. And he goes, you want to watch it? He hadn't seen a trailer for it, not one fucking bit, right? Puts it in, and it gets to the part, like, he watches the whole fucking thing. Doesn't laugh once. Doesn't laugh once. Gets to the end where he starts jerking off the elephant, and he can't stop laughing. He just can't stop laughing. And then as soon as the movie's over, he looks at me and goes, you wanted to fucking watch this? And it was the same thing with Borat, too. Like, I went to the theater, saw it, laughed my ass off, told Dad, I was like, we got to go see this. You're going to fucking love it. Get him in the theater, get him to the cheap theater, get all sat down. He's laughing the entire movie by me, sitting next to me. We get out of the theater, and he goes, the fuck was that? Because that wasn't funny at all. I go, you laughed the whole goddamn time. How can you tell me it's not funny?
There's Borat number 2 coming out.
Yeah, it's out already.
Is it out already?
It's out already.
Yeah. Nice. Holy shit.
Love it. As long as they don't come out with another fucking Bruno.
What are you talking about? That shit was good too.
Oh, God.
So good.
I'd rather watch The Dictator again.
The Dictator was
pretty good.
Yeah.
Next You're not as hairy as a Kardashian or whatever.
Like that.
Wasn't it like Megan Fox or somebody super fucking hot and he's like, you're not as hairy as this?
I like it when I don't remember the exact scene, but he thinks that the guy he thinks they're going to like rape somebody, and he's like, oh, you should have told me. Next time I'd wear my raping shoes. I don't remember exactly the scene, but that movie. Oh shit. Next time I would have worn my raping shoes.
Oh Lord.
He actually snuck in on this last one. He snuck into a political debate.
Oh no, it
or
was a
like
white
a convention
pride.
or something.
It was
like
a
that.
white pride rally, wasn't it?
Something like that.
Oh, that's awesome.
He snuck into a couple different things. Well, he snuck into
and he was like playing guitar, like fucking.
You know that dude is like uber fucking smart in real life.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, and he's English.
Yeah.
I fucking saw it, like, cause he rarely makes any kind of appearances in public where he isn't in character. Like, there's only two where he's not in character.
Well, the Ali G was fucking amazing as well too. When he was, because I didn't know he was that guy at first, and then I was like, and then he switched to Bart. I was like, there's no way that's the same guy.
Same guy. Same fucking guy.
Yep. And Talladega Nights.
Yep.
Oh, he's the fucking
the French guy.
F1 driver.
Yeah. That movie had the weirdest scene that I still can't put my finger on. When they're in like the garden, when Will Ferrell's character comes to visit him, and they take the walk and they're talking, and he's like, "Oh, I'll never lose to you, big boy," and he's standing there, and Will Ferrell gets this like.
It's because
he's getting jerked off or something.
Isn't it like a look thing that he
so
does?
He talks about like wanting to kiss him or something like that.
Yeah, but he's just like getting all like.
Well, it's kind of like the power move. Like,
yeah.
Again, this is the second Workaholics fucking reference in 2 episodes. But there's a scene where Carl is like, he's like, what does he say? He's like, I'm the bitch dom or something like that. And so he's like, I'll make you come. I'll make you hard. And like Durs is like, not a fucking chance. And Carl starts like being all sexy and like rubbing himself. And then he's like pretending to like suck a dick. And all of a sudden you see Durs' like pants. He's like, no. He's like, I'm in charge, And then like Durs goes back later in the fucking show. And he's like, I'm going to take care of this. And fucking Carl's like, he's like, no, man, I'm in charge. He's like, oh, yeah? And he starts, like, being all hot on him, and he fucking, like, puts two golf balls in his mouth because they're in a fucking golf course or something. He's like, and fucking Carl's hard as a rock, dude. Everybody's got boners, like, standing around.
I don't know the name of it, but those 4 guys have a podcast as well.
Yeah, it's, I just saw the fucking ad for it.
I did too.
Damn
and
it.
That's what made me think of it. They do the same shit that we do, but are just famous for it.
Yeah.
Oh,
well,
just
and they
like,
probably have like just a little more production behind
Well,
it.
yeah.
They've done the show for years, but just like the guys from Trailer Park Boys do the Swear Net.
Oh,
Theirs is a
yeah, dude. That one
podcast.
is sick, dude.
It's
I
funny
really
as
like
fuck.
that.
I follow them on Facebook and everything.
Yeah, I have
love it.
I have them on Instagram, and so you see all like the production movies or like
Yeah.
little shorts or whatever, and they're like sitting around watching. And there was a scene where it was like episode 901, and fucking Ricky's car comes flying around the fucking corner, and the guy that plays Ricky, they're watching it on a TV, and he's like, "I'll fucking never get tired of that." It's like, in a piece of shit fucking car, dude.
I'm waiting. Okay, so this is one of my life goals is to find, I think it is a New Yorker. I'm pretty sure it's like a 78 New Yorker is what that car
Oh,
is.
his car, and you want to make it.
I want to make it.
Yeah.
Like-
You're going to go full legit and it only has reverse, that kind of thing?
Yeah, I'll make it have forward just so I can legally drive it. But
There isn't a law
There
in the
isn't-
books that says you can't drive
that's
backwards
true.
on the road. Did
But
you
I
know
want to
that?
make it just and fucking
There's
like,
a lot of states. I'm not trying to interrupt, but I'm
yeah.
just saying there is a lot of states in America, mainly in the South, not picking on you guys, that have no laws on the books about driving backwards.
True. But that's one of my goals is I want to find one of those.
Fuck yeah.
It could even be in pristine condition. I don't give a shit.
We're gonna
I'll
make
bust
it
out
not,
the fucking
yeah.
windows. I'll tear off the doors. I'll
We'll do it like
tear the
perfect
vinyl.
too, like which parts.
Spray paint it
Because
green.
I think for a few seasons it didn't
Yeah.
have back doors, but it still had the front doors.
Yeah.
No.
Because they were stealing
One
shit
whole
off of
side.
Leahy's car and like...
Oh, that's fucking right.
Yeah.
Because the gold convertible is the same as Ricky's
yeah,
car,
Yeah.
but nice. Yeah, there was a scene I remember the gold door.
Yep.
Oh fuck, that's funny, dude.
They always have those big giant ass 4-door cars. I'm rewatching the series right now for like the third fucking time.
Well, yeah, you should.
Yeah.
Everybody should.
Oh,
If
yeah.
there's a show to plug, it would definitely be Trailer
Yeah.
Park Boys.
Yep.
And fucking Wreckins, dude. You know,
When they go and they...
dude,
fucking-
the weed's got bugs on it, and they got
Yeah.
Sebastian Bach fucking.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, dude, no, that's
I was
premium fucking
watching-
dope from fucking.
You know what's really crazy? I was watching... So Sarah, her big show is Gilmore Girls. She loves that show. I was watching it the other day. Sebastian Bach is on Gilmore Girls.
Dude,
Like
he's been on
one
fucking
episode?
everything.
And I was like, no,
Well, he's
on it for like a couple of seasons. And I'm like, holy shit.
Is he any
He was
good,
doing
or
Trailer Park
Does
Boys.
he play him?
He plays Sebastian Bach, but
That's
he's
amazing.
like in like a band that's like the people are part of the show. Like, and I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, I'm watching Trailer Park Boys and he's this crazy drugger, a rocker, and then I'm sitting here at night and Sarah's watching her show,
The
and I'm like,
PG-13 Gilmore Girls.
yeah, it's so funny as hell.
Money's money, dude.
Yeah,
Well, it's kind of like
But-
it's like the Brett Favre joke where they're
Yeah.
like making fun of him for continuing to play football.
yeah,
And it's like, all right, so you make $32 million a year as a starter. Yeah, I'll keep doing that. Like, you make $8 million a year as a second string. Yeah, I'll fucking probably keep doing that. You make $500,000 a year on the practice squad. Yeah, I'll probably keep fucking doing that. Like, I would fucking do that for...
Who
In
cares?
fact, if I ever got the opportunity, I would just be a tackling dummy on the practice squad the rest of my life and make far more money than I've ever made. Like,
Yeah.
what's the minimum cap in the NFL? $350,000 a year,
I
I
have
believe.
no
I
clue.
think I'm right on that one, which is weird that I would know that about football, but I don't know anything about football. But I'm pretty sure the minimum that you can make a year from a team, from kicker to whatever, if you're a player, is $350,000 a year.
yeah.
I'll go kick fucking football sideways at the wrong fucking goalpost for $350,000 a year. Like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
You need somebody to pretend they didn't kick it right? I'm fucking that guy.
Yep.
I can't remember the last time I kicked a football. Like, I remember Jared Semenko in school used to be the kicker. And so then at PE, if we had the footballs, whatever, we would kick a few or whatever. I could never get them up. They always just, like a soccer ball. They just want to roll forward. And I'm like, how do you...
We
I
bought
want to go that way.
we bought Haley a basketball hoop, and it's like a legit. It'll go 7 or 10, and we've got it at 7. And she's getting it. She's getting it. And I'm back there. And I used to be pretty good at just shooting hoops. You and I used to go all the time. That old church up there on 13th
Yeah.
Street. And pop the trunk of the Nova and just blast tunes and shoot hoops. And the trunk, I mean the hatch.
The hatch trunk?
Yes. But I'm sitting out there the other day, man, and I'm just like, nothing. nothing. Like, I'm just like sucking ass. And even Haley was like, I thought you said you were good at this game. Daddy is. I'm just the son, and I'm just...
Yeah, I don't feel good.
I don't feel
Stuff
good.
hurts,
My ankle hurts.
You're fucking grounded. Go inside.
Yeah, go
so you can practice for
it's
hours.
It's getting too cold.
And Sean's still shooting at the 7
Yeah.
foot, not hitting anything. Right? God damn it.
That's when you become the layup expert dad.
Yeah,
So you don't have to shoot. You just walk up and you're like, see, I told
Well,
you.
she automatically caught on to that, though. I was just like, She was like,
Doesn't count, Dad. You got to shoot from
no,
right there.
you got to go back here where I made it.
I don't want to. That's really far.
Yeah.
She starts beating you at pig and shit, and you're like, God damn it. This is fucking stupid.
Well, the last time I took Aubrey to the park, like, I love Aubrey to death, but she is not an athlete. And she also has what I would call zero effort to be one. And so, like, I had a basketball. Ollie wants me to pick him up like 1,000 times so he can dunk, and he's loving it more and more every time. I'm like, Aubrey, why don't you try? And you could tell when she tries something, she's like, and it, like, goes nowhere near. And I'm like, I've seen you throw things when you feel like throwing it. Like, when we had the pool, she could throw shit all the way across the pool one-handed like it's nothing, hit the thing she wants to hit, dive back under the water, and hide. You take her and get her within 4 feet of a basketball hoop with a basketball that weighs, like, less than a pound, she's fucking lost. Like, it weighs 900 pounds. I'm like, well, you want Dad to pick you up so you can, like, dunk and stuff? She's like, nah. Like, all right. Guess not. I mean, you're only like 8 feet tall already, but let's just scratch basketball right off of the top of that list.
Yeah.
I would say that's almost an episode, boys.
Is it? Did we fucking do it?
I guarantee we did it. I guarantee we did it.
You think?
If
I think that
not
was a good
longer
one. I bet we're
than
right
the
in an
last one.
hour. We were
I put
excited.
money. We're past that.
All right. Hey, $2 right now before we look. I'm going to say within 10 minutes of an hour either way.
Either way, I'm going to say...
Over an hour 10 would have to be your bet?
Well, yeah.
All right. Well, we fucking love you, folks. I'm going to rattle very little right now because I got $2 on a bet, but yeah, we love you. Go away. Next week, same shit. It's kind of cool to say.
Should be a new president, but we're not going to quote
I
that.
fucking doubt it.
Yeah,
Nah, quit trying to stretch it out. You're trying to make me talk about
Yeah,
president.
Bye, guys.
Bye,
See you later.
Love you.